WrestleMania 37 Stunner Incident. April 11, 2021, WrestleMania 37. Logan Paul entered the WWE spotlight as a guest at ringside. He was invited by Sami Zayn, who was deep in a conspiracy feud with Kevin Owens. Zayn had introduced Paul as an ally, someone who could validate his claims and lend outside credibility. Social media exploded. Clips of Paul getting stunned went viral. It was replayed, memed, mocked. On the biggest night in wrestling, Paul was left lying on his back, humiliated in front of a global audience. He wasn't even in the match, but he left as the night's biggest loser. Defending the United States Championship. November 4th, 2023, Logan Paul defeats Rey Mysterio at WWE Crown Jewel. The influencer-turned-wrestler secured his first WWE title, the United States Championship. A big win, but what followed was silence. No title defenses, no appearances. For 50 days, the United States Champion was absent from the ring. In WWE, that's unacceptable. A title needs defending. A champion needs to show up. Fans noticed. On X, criticism mounted. Part-time champion, they called him. Others accused him of using WWE just for promotion, not performance. The pressure forced WWE to announce a tournament to decide who would finally challenge Logan. It wasn't about who he would defend against, it was about when he would bother to defend it. This wasn't just a PR misstep, it damaged his reputation. To many fans, he wasn't a real champion, just a celebrity holding gold. Royal Rumble 2024. January 27, 2024, Tropicana Field. Logan Paul stepped into the Royal Rumble not as an outsider, but as a defending United States champion. His opponent, Kevin Owens. Their history stretched back to WrestleMania 37, the night Owens stunned him cold. Now, Paul had the belt. Owens wanted it. The match was intense. Owens took control, then came the twist. Paul's signature illegal weapon, brass knuckles, came into play. Owens used them, knocked Paul out cold, but the referee saw it. Disqualification. Logan Paul retained the title, not by skill, not by pinfall, but by technicality. He was unconscious. The match was over, but the belt stayed with him. Fans didn't celebrate, commentators didn't praise. They saw a paper champion, a man who needed brass knuckles, controversy, and disqualifications to survive. He left the Royal Rumble still United States champion, but visibly broken and widely ridiculed. Money in the Bank 2023. July 1st, 2023, London. Money in the Bank, one of WWE's most dangerous matches. 7 men, 1 briefcase. High-risk spots, ladders, chaos. But one move stood out for all the wrong reasons. Logan Paul and Ricochet climbed opposite ladders. They planned a Spanish fly, a high-flying backflip slam off the ropes, through the tables. It required perfect timing, perfect balance, perfect execution. It went wrong. Ricochet hit the ropes a split second too soon. Paul slipped, lost grip. The move still happened, but not as planned. They crashed through the tables, sloppy, sideways, uncontrolled. The audience gasped. Refs ran over. Paul later admitted on his Impulsive podcast it was his inexperience. He didn't stick the landing. He was lucky to walk away. But the footage told the story. The botch went viral, not for danger, for awkwardness. In the world of WWE, spectacle is expected. Precision is respected. Paul delivered neither that night. Lost to Roman Reigns, November 5th, 2022. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Logan Paul walks into Crown Jewel with confidence, too much of it. In front of a global audience, he challenges Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. The build-up is bold. At the press conference, Paul declares he will make Reigns acknowledge him. He claims he's not just sitting at the table, he is the table. The match is high stakes. It's only Logan's 3rd match in WWE. He enters the ring with his impulsive entourage. Midway through, his brother Jake Paul even shows up, knocking out the Usos. Chaos breaks loose outside the ring, but inside the ropes, Logan Paul falls short. Despite a stunning frog splash through the announcer's table and viral camera work, he gets speared by Reigns and pinned. The match ends with Paul lying on the mat, humiliated. His bold words didn't match the result. He failed to beat the tribal chief, just like everyone else. Only this time, he promised he would. For someone who positioned himself as the one to dethrone Reigns, the result was clear. He wasn't ready. No matter how flashy the entrance or how many cameras followed, the moment exposed his limits. His first WWE loss wasn't just a loss, it was a reality check. Lost to Seth Rollins. April 1st, 2023, WrestleMania 39, Night 1. Logan Paul turns 28. He ziplines into the ring. Behind him, a prime bottle mascot follows. It's his business partner, KSI. The match was against Seth Rollins, a rivalry months in the making. It started with Paul eliminating Rollins with the Royal Rumble, then interfering inside the Elimination Chamber to cost him a title shot. The war of words intensified. Rollins questioned why Paul was even in WWE. Now, they finally meet on the biggest stage. Early on, Logan mocks Rollins by singing his entrance theme mid-match. He looks in control, crossbodies, moonsaults, submission holds. Even lands a powerful right-hand punch that nearly ends it, but then embarrassment. As Paul sets up a viral table spot, he drags Rollins onto the announcer's table. KSI positions his phone to record. Logan climbs to the top rope. At the last second, Rollins pulls KSI onto the table and Logan crashes into his own mascot, his best friend. The crowd erupts. Paul rolls into the ring, dazed. Rollins hits a pedigree, then a stomp. Logan Paul gets pinned again on his own birthday, at the grandest show of them all. His flashy entrance, viral plans, and arrogance all come crashing down, literally. Controversial retention. April 7, 2024, WrestleMania 40. Logan Paul walks in as United States Champion. He faces Randy Orton and Kevin Owens in a triple threat title defense. On paper, it's his biggest challenge yet. But Logan doesn't win clean. When Orton lines up the RKO, chaos hits. Out of nowhere, YouTuber I Show Speed pulls Logan out of the ring. Speed isn't part of the match. He's not a wrestler. He's not even legal ringside support. Still, the damage is done. Paul re-enters. With Orton down, he hits a frog splash on Owens and steals the win. To the record books, it's a successful title defense. To the WWE universe, it's a sham. Wrestling tradition values clean victories. Champions are expected to stand tall without shortcuts, but Logan leaned on an outsider to save his title. Fans took to Reddit and X to call it what it was, cheap. Despite the victory, the moment tarnished Logan's credibility. His name trended, not for his win, but for the interference that made it happen. For a champion, there's no greater embarrassment than needing someone else to hold your belt for you. Losing the title to LA Knight. April 3rd, 2024, SummerSlam, Cleveland, Ohio. Logan Paul walks into his hometown with swagger and the US Championship around his waist. 273 days as champion, just his second title defense. His opponent is LA Knight. The tension starts before the bell. On SmackDown, Knight smashed Logan's prime truck window. Logan enters SuperSlam furious and charges before the match even begins. They brawl outside the ring. Logan takes a nasty fall on the announcer's table. It doesn't break. Inside the ring, the momentum shifts. Logan soars with a beautiful moonsault. The crowd is impressed. Even critics admit it looked great. But when it counts, he tries to cheat. Rapper Machine Gun Kelly, also in Logan's corner, hands him brass knuckles. Paul swings. Knight takes the shot, but it barely lands. LA Knight recovers. He counters Logan mid-rope and hits his finisher, the BFT. 1, 2, 3. Logan Paul loses the United States Championship in his hometown in front of friends, family, and thousands of fans. The 273-day reign ends not with honor, but with a failed trick play. Despite his flashy rise, Logan had only defended the title twice. Critics began pointing that out. Others recalled he couldn't win clean at WrestleMania 40 either, and now, even with brass knuckles, he still could win at SummerSlam.